So,
welcome everyone to this 46th day of our third session in the 21 Days series that is with the theme of deepening the silence. My name is Tracy, and below it says I'm from South Florida, but today I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, Washington. Very happy to be here with you, and We're going to be having a really very, hopefully, exciting session today on the topic of developing dynamism. We are going to integrate it with our current theme for the third session, which is transformation. How we transform through the practice of Sahaja Yoga meditation. And one aspect that develops within us is this dynamism in our right channel. So today we are going to have a foot soak. And if you do not have your bucket ready yet, please get it ready now. Later on, we will be also using the ice pack, which will help to cool down our right side so that it can become more dynamic. If you are new or continuing, you can review the course materials and previous recorded sessions on the website, and that website will be shared today as well in the chat and on the screen. If you do not have a mentor, or you would like to have another mentor, somebody who you can meet with, who you can share the experiences you're having in your meditation practice, you can ask questions, meditate together, then there will be a link in the chat where you can fill out a form to request a mentor. Even if you want a second mentor, that's also perfectly fine. On Tuesday, we had a session on overcoming lethargy, which pulls us out of balance into the left side. And it prevents our left side from becoming dynamic as well. And tonight, we're going to have a session on how to develop this aspect of our own personal dynamism in our right side so that we can move forward in a very dynamic way without being under the influence of that notorious ego that sometimes plagues us. Today's agenda will be a foot soak. After the foot soak, we will be listening to a short talk of Shri Mataji's, a video, and we will have wonderful live music. Looking forward to that. And then a second guided meditation to go deeper into maybe a little better understanding of how to clear and nurture our right side and develop the quality of dynamism there. So if now we could bring one last thing. After the session of the second meditation, we will have presenter sharing where we can talk a little bit more in depth about our experiences and share some answers to questions that you might have as well. So now if we could have our presenters come on the screen this evening. Excellent. Hello there. We're having from the Bay Area, yes, Anand and Sujata. Hello, folks. And from Detroit, Michigan.
Right.
Did you used to be in Indianapolis?
No, that's the other Prashant.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay, my bad. Very good. And Prashant, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, great seeing you, Auntie, again. So it's always a pleasure. Yeah. So, hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Prashant Sopori. I'm joining you all from Detroit, Michigan. I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for about close to 29 years now, and it's been a great experience all throughout, and the transformation continues to happen. From a professional standpoint, I'm a management consultant, and I'm looking forward to this evening. It's a great topic of dynamism. So excited to be here.
Great. And Sujata and Anand, welcome. So good to see you both. Would you like to?
Tracy? Good to see you all once again. We are joining from the Bay Area, California. I will be singing a song written by a famous poet called Kabir. This poet described this whole subtle energy system that we have, the three channels, in this beautiful song. And he particularly talks about the right channel, that's which is the topic today. So great to be here.
Anand?
And I'll be accompanying, my name is Anand. I'll be accompanying Sujata on the tabla.
Okay, and hopefully you will both join us afterwards for the sharing.
Sure, will do.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, then now we're going to introduce the topic of developing dynamism. And that word dynamism, maybe it's something that is a little nebulous. I certainly have been curious about what it means and how we can develop it. So on Tuesday, we learned about the left channel, the pure desire that we want to nurture there, and how certain things like lethargy and laziness or sadness or insecurities, guilt, these sorts of emotional states that take us out of balance and block the left side and prevent us from having very dynamic power of desire. So on the right side, on the right channel, and if you are not familiar with the subtle system, then on the website, we have the resources where you can take a look and study the subtle system that's within each of us, the three channels, the chakras, and our own inner mothering energy in our sacral bone. So the right side, which has its end point on the left side of our head, and that part of our brain, which is our intellect and other faculties of analysis and language, expression, communication, that is also called the ego. And sometimes that has a way of diminishing the power, the dynamic power of our right channel. So, what does it mean to have a dynamic right channel? So, the word dynamism has a connotation of energy, it is a power, it acts, it is a force, and it helps us make good decisions, wise decisions, and act in ways that are pleasing to our spirit. The right side begins at the base of the base of the right side connects to the second energy center, which is the Swadhisthana, and its nature is creativity. So from that basis, we want to develop that pure creativity that helps us to become very dynamic in everything that we do, thing that we say, and even in the inspiration that comes into our awareness. So we'll explore this a little bit more now with a foot soak. And let's get our feet into the water. First, we're going to give a bandhan to the water, which is the circular clockwise movement of our hand to vibrate the water. So that it can absorb more of the negativity from within our subtle system. Let's put our feet in the water. And before we raise and tie up our Kundalini, let's sit for one moment, see if we can connect a little more closely with her. We can put both of our hands towards the Mother Earth. Take a few slow breaths. Bring the attention inside. And let the attention sink down to our sacrum bone. Here we can ask our Mother Kundalini, please awaken within me. Mother, please rise and open the fontanelle bone so that I can enter into the state of higher awareness, being one with the divine power, and feeling my eternal self, my pure spirit. Let the tension from the day be released and absorbed by Mother Earth. Let's bring both hands on our lap in front of our sacrum bone. The palms are facing up, and our hands are resting on the upper part of our lap, close to our torso. Let's have the desire that we want to feel this soothing, nourishing, loving energy, our Mother Kundalini. Mother, let me feel you with my hands. This center channel is the channel that our Mother energy flows on to transform us. So let's now raise her slowly with a pure desire for our transformation. Transformation into becoming our pure spirit. We'll place ourselves in the bandhan, surrounding our subtle system with these divine vibrations flowing through our hands. Left hand absorbs, right hand gives, emits. It is these vibrations that emit from the top of our head, from our hands, from our eyes, from our voice, that are that dynamic power within us. Let's clear the right channel by placing our left hand towards the sky. Our elbow is bent at our side, and our palm is facing back over the left shoulder. And in this way, we clear, allowing any heat or blockages in the right channel to escape into the ether. There is a special power of the right channel. It is the power of creativity and creation. It is the power that is emitted by the sun. It is the power of pure action, action that is guided by our spirit. Mother, please purify my right channel so that it can be better able to express and act in guidance from my spirit. One way that we can consciously facilitate our own transformation using the vibrations is by giving our chakras bandhans. So let's, with our left hand now resting on our lap, and with our right hand, we're going to move in a clockwise manner, and we're going to start at the second energy center. So we're going to move, it goes from the top to the left, down, and to the right. So we're moving in a clockwise manner to remove any blockages that have accumulated in our right Swadhisthana chakra. And we can clear the imbalances to the foot soak water, offering any heat, overactivity, negativities to the water. Especially if we work in offices or on computers or any work that we might do on a daily basis, the center gets tired. And giving bandhan here helps restore balance and health to the chakra. Mother Kundalini, please purify my right Swadhisthana and restore health and balance to this chakra. Let the pure creativity act through my right Swadhisthana. Let the pure attention be nurtured through this chakra. Moving up to the right nabi, which is at the right side of our abdomen. We can do the same, shake it off to the water. This is the center by which one of the qualities is the aspect of administration, where we run the house or we run let's say in our jobs, we have to interact with many other people, in our family dynamics. And here, the dynamic quality of generosity flows from the Nabi chakra in all that we do. Mother, please make the generosity flowing from my Nabi chakra dynamic, effective. Moving up to the right heart. This is the center. One of the qualities is our sense of responsibilities. There are many qualities of the centers. This is one of the ones that sometimes we get out of balance because we feel responsible for things, perhaps pressures from other people, from our society, or from ourselves, pressures we put on ourselves. Mother Kundalini, please enlighten my right heart and let me be truly responsible to my spirit. Let my sense of responsibility be guided by my spirit so that those things I am responsible for can be done and looked after in a very dynamic way. Let's move up to the right heart, to the right Vishuddhi, at the right side of the neck where it meets the shoulder. The power of the Bandhan is the most dynamic power. May my words be sweet and dynamic. Even the nature of the witness in our Vishuddhi chakra can be dynamic. We can see things more effectively when we are witnessing. Moving to the left side of the head, we're still going clockwise, back, down, forward, up, and we can bring it all the way down our right side to the water. We'll give a bandhan. Mother, please enlighten the faculty of intellect within me and bring it down to the water. Again. Let's keep our attention on top of our head as we give bandhan. One more time. And finally, the sasrara. We give bandhan here. Mother, enlighten my awareness so that the power, the dynamic nature of my spirit can flow through my enlightened awareness, so that I can be guided by my connection with the divine power spontaneously, so that I can know those things that I need to pay attention to and consciously correct within myself. And one last time. Great. We'll bring our hand back on our lap. Let the attention be on top of the head. See if our attention is stable, steady, and silent. So we'll rinse our feet now, and we'll be listening to a video, watching a video and listening to a talk by Shri Mataji.
Spirit is never upset, never excited, never hurries and never is what you call that go-go business. Like now, we have to go to the airport. You find everybody goes like an aeroplane round, 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 round. What has happened? Oh, we have to go. We have to go, all right, so what? The whole thing is all these excitements and all these things come to us because we are outside. But if you are one with your spirit, you are absolutely calm. Absolutely calm. All right, we have to go, all right, we'll reach there. Doesn't matter. The other day we had to go for some shopping. I was trying to buy some saris for Indian ladies. We got lost. I never bothered them at all. They were going round and round and round and round. And then Danny realized, he said, I think perhaps we had to leave vibrations in all these places. I said, correct. And for about 2 hours, I think, we were roaming about. Anybody else would be saying, what's this? You can't find the place. What's the matter with you? Calm. We reached the shop at the right time, got everything at the right time, did everything, came back at right time. Everything was first class, nothing went wrong. But anybody in my place, I tell you, that time would have been, oh God, this, that. Why are you saving time? For what are you saving time? So we miss the present. And that's one thing Spirit never misses. It's always in the present. That's the reality. Now, in the West, people are very futuristic, extremely futuristic. And their futuristicness sometimes takes them to points, say, for example, if they have to go by train. So instead of arriving at the right station, they'll go to the station which is further on. And then again they'll arrive at the further on. The train will never reach them. Sort of temperament there. So one should not plan at all anything like that that fixes you. But at this moment, if I have to be told that we have to go at this time, it's all right, finished now. At this moment you're told it's recorded, finished. All right? So it's gone into the memory. There's nothing to worry about it. Now present moment. What are we doing? In a very calm way, witness it. Witness yourself. Now, witness yourself. Where is my mind going? Now somebody who has to cook must be thinking, oh, I have to get this, I have to get that. Once you start saying that I have to do it, you'll never be able to do it that well. But you said, all right, just now I'm in meditation. Every moment I'm in meditation. Everything will walk up to you, even matter. And you'll do the right things at the right place. You'll meet right people at the right place. The other day, we were just walking, strolling around. Whom do we find there? Caroline. She just walked up. There I met her. She said, Christine is just next door. I said, let's go. And you should have seen the joy on her face when she came down, she saw me. Beautiful experience for me and her. She was so happy. Then we went together. So when you are so much tied down with your watch, that means you are not tied down with your spirit. So a Sahaja Yogi, if he sees watch, then he is not a Sahaja Yogi. But the other side could be that the Sahaja Yogis are never in time where they have to be. Very common in England. I reach always first to open the door. And to clean it also sometimes. Now, to take for granted things, as you say, take for granted. That's not the way Sahaja Yoga is. You have to be alert, absolutely alert. If you are alert, immediately you have to go now this time. I have to do it. I have to get this thing out. If you have to miss something, you are supposed to miss it. That's what it is. So there's a beautiful thing written down, like they say, Jaise rakhahu, taise hi rahu. The way you keep me the way I am will be happy. So satisfaction towards yourself, your spirit is important. Because ego will plan out. Oh, we go there, we must get mother, for mother, say daisies. We decide, must get daisies. You don't find daisies, you are disappointed. Why not? These are all my flowers. Whether they're daisies or not, they look so nice. Whatever you get it. That's the thing wanted. You know that the divine is working out everything for you. When you are supposed to get something else, better have it. Even by mistake, if I lay my hand upon something like a book or something, immediately I'll open it out and see why this book has come in my attention. Why this fellow has come in my attention. Why this is happening. And immediately I find that there's some connection, something has to be done, something has to be said, something has to be worked out. So for a person who is imbibed with the culture of spirit, the Sahaja culture, impresses others by his calmness and relaxed attitude. Relaxation never means lethargy by any chance. It doesn't mean lethargy. Lethargy is against relaxation. A person who is relaxed cannot become lethargic. Relaxed means a person who is alert and calm. These two things for human beings is an impossibility. Because if they are alert, then they are not calm. If they are unhappy, sad, then they think they are very, very calm. So this is one of the things one has to remember, that you have to witness yourself all the time. Not to condemn yourself, but witness. Now I said the word witness means detached. Now what happens with this? When you start condemning yourself, you miss every good point. For example, you have some experience of a sudden height being achieved. Alright? At that point, you should catch hold of it. Hold on to it. Keep to it, but don't forget that you may go back. No. And then wait for another higher moment to come. Hold on to it. That's how you climb Himalayas. But not that, oh ma, now it's all right, but what will happen next? Then you are gone down. Because you have to face yourself in a way knowing what are your powers. You are a spirit now. You are no more an ordinary human being. So you have no business to condemn yourself or to degrade yourself or in any way to feel unhappy. No way. Past is past. What happened a moment before is finished. Now I am going to rise. Now I am going to rise. So a person who has a Sahaja culture is not only spontaneous but is inspired. Is an inspired personality. A person who is of that kind, an inspired visionary, then other people get impressed by such a person that, see, there is a man who is inspired, who talks in an inspired way, in a way that is something very different from others. Something new, he says. New that is nourishing. Such a personality, like the other day, you see, we heard the lectures of so many people. And when the New Zealand Prime Minister was coming, CP said, now let's go back because we'll have a little tea or something. I said, no, you listen to this man. He's a realized soul. He said, really? I said, yes, you listen to him. First, everybody was thinking New Zealand, such a little bit of a country. What is he going to speak? You see, they were moving about, making. Within 2 minutes, he captured everybody's attention. You see, he's bubbling with her. So beautifully, and he spoke all the points so much different, and so much new, and so much better. CP was amazed. He said, how do you know? I said, I know, because when I was in New Zealand, I told them he's a realized soul. And our Prime Minister is also a realized soul. You'll be surprised after our Prime Minister finished his lecture and all that, after 2-3 lectures he was to go. Then he turned round and went to this Australian Prime Minister, only him. went and congratulated and said something very close to him. And the fellow again, as he flew up into joy. We saw all that. And then he came away. Why? Because one realized soul understands another realized soul, and everybody was amazed. Why did he turn to this man alone and went and congratulated him? So, such a large country like India, represented by our Prime Minister, goes down all the way to a little country like New Zealand, which is nothing compared to India, and congratulates. And that's a developed country, this is a developing country. Is something people did not understand. And the whole joyous atmosphere, both of them shaking hands, created. This is Sahaj culture, in which you recognize a realized soul.
Let's keep our attention on our Sahasrara, on the top of our head. Let's absorb the vibrations of the talk that we just listened to.
शून्य
That was so beautiful. Amazing rendition of Sri Kabir Dasa's couplets. Let's just sustain this silence on our Sahasraras for a bit. The essence of true dynamism is really the union of our attention with the spirit. Only when our attention completely experiences that union with the spirit, we become dynamic in the real sense without any expression of ego. It is in that space when the innocence acts, the divine innocence within us acts in a complete state of surrender. And what really impedes that attention from expressing in its most pristine and divine state are two external forces, really. It is the activity, or you can say the indulgence of the left side, which expresses in the form of lethargy, which is what we covered on Tuesday. And the other side is the overactivity of our mind, which comes from the right side. And Auntie Tracy beautifully covered in the earlier part of this session as to how we can go about balancing our right side, because it's the overactivity of the mind uh, which ends up heating our right side, our Pingla channel, the right channel. We burden ourselves with the day-to-day anxieties. We take the ownership of every act that we commit. We become responsible or hold ourselves accountable and responsible for the outcomes, when in reality, we control so little. And that burden leads to so many anxieties and worries and all those challenges which come from the overactivity of mind. And as a result, our liver, which is the seat of our attention, heats up. And once the liver is heated, our attention becomes very fickle. It starts to jump on the cusps of thoughts that we get. So the key to enjoying a surrendered attention is to completely calm down, as Shri Mataji was saying, that we have to become the spirit. And the way we become the spirit is to allow our attention to merge with the spirit. So besides the techniques that Auntie covered in the earlier part, we balance our right side, and we have talked about this many times during our sessions, and we also do the foot soaking. There is another very effective technique of right side. It is the ice pack. So what we do is we use the ice pack. I hope you all have your respective ice packs ready with you. And if not, that is okay. You can still follow along, and we will do the affirmations. They will still be very effective on the right side. So primarily we use the ice pack on our right swadhisthana, which is the lower right side, next to our lower abdomen, next to our waistline. That's where we place it. And that imbibes the quality of surrender within us. And the other part is we place the ice pack on the liver, which is on the right side, right below our rib cage. So we'll be following this with some affirmations, and let's try and be as surrendered as possible and try and make these affirmations and prayers as effortless as possible. It's really the Mother Kundalini, once we kind of completely surrender ourselves to it, does all the job. So we have to become as effortless as possible. So let's take our respective ice packs, and we'll first start off by placing this on our right swadhisthana, which is the lower right abdomen, close to our waistline. And we can actually combine this thing with our right side treatment as well. We can also maintain our right hand towards the sky. And here, keeping our attention on Sahasrara, we'll make a very simple prayer. Mother Kundalini, I do nothing. Mother Kundalini, I do nothing. You verily are the doer, and you are the enjoyer. I surrender all my worries, all my anxieties to you. Make this prayer from the bottom of your heart, just like how a child is praying to the mother. Mother, I am your child. Please take over all my worries. I recognize you as the doer. Now we'll bring our ice pack on our liver, right below our rib cage, on the right side. And this is the seat of our attention. So we just pray to Mother Kundalini. Again, just leave all the effort to her. She's the mother, she's the counselor. Say, Mother, please cool down my liver. Mother, please cool down my liver. Allow my attention to experience the complete union with the Spirit. As we are doing this, we will start experiencing some pull from our left hand, the heat kind of getting sucked into the sky element. And then also attention gradually will start to calm down. The racing of the mind, it will stop gradually. Now we typically do the ice pack for about 10 minutes or so. We can do about 5 minutes on Swadhisthana, 5 minutes on the liver. Or the other way to gauge is as the activity of the mind stops and we start feeling that space above our Sahasrara, we can certainly stop at that time. So we can place our ice packs on the side, bring our left hand down, and start experiencing that relaxation. And we can bring our right hand on our forehead. And that really is the last step where we say, Mother, please allow me to surrender myself completely onto you. Please take away all my ego. And here we completely forgive all our thoughts and pray to Mother Kundalini, Mother, I am your child. Please take me into my Sahasrara. Allow me to experience complete union with you. We just make a simple prayer with the bottom of our heart. No effort, just a prayer. Mother, please transcend me into Sahasrara. With that, we will just touch the center of our right palm on the very top of our head. Very gently, we kind of press it. Give a very gentle clockwise rotation to our scalp and pray to Mother Kundalini. Mother, please establish my self-realization. Now we gently raise our palm a little bit above our head. Allow our attention to fill in that space between the head and the hand. Just continue watching our attention fill that space. Bring the right hand down and just stay in that state. At this point, you will start feeling your Sahasrara very rapidly. And that is the state of your attention, enjoying that union. And that is the true sign of dynamism, where the innocence and the purity within you is in action. At this point, we will thank Mother Kundalini for this amazing experience. And we will raise our Kundalinis and put ourselves in Bandhan. We'll all first raise our left channel. And again raise, tie our left and right. And then we'll tie all three channels. And put ourselves in the protective shield, Bandhan. Do it 7 times. Hopefully you guys had a good experience. At this point, I will turn it back to you, Auntie Tracy.
Beautiful meditation. Thank you, Prashant. And the music also was very dynamic, Sujata. Enjoyed it tremendously. We now have a few announcements and reminders to share with you before we go forward with the presenter sharing on the different techniques and experiences and ways in which we have found Sahaj to help us become more dynamic. So here we can see, as we know, the third session that we are in right now, Deepening the Silence. That is every Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We're in the second week. We have 5 more weeks to go. And the collective foot soaks that support on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the same time and in the same link. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening for a foot soak. It's nice to end the day cleansing and getting into balance, clearing out, and then finding that silence before we go to sleep and have a much more dynamic following day. Sunday, we'll be back, the 21 days, on May 12th, which is Mother's Day. And we see here a quote about how as newborns we rely on the sustenance and protection of our mother, but as we grow up, we appreciate the encouragement and her support, and that we are also nurtured through this meditation by our own Mother Kundalini, who looks after our spiritual growth. So we will on Sunday have a session on expressing our gratitude to our Mother Kundalini. So the next thing we have is our program resources, which are vast and incredibly helpful and help us maintain that dynamic nature that we want to develop. We can have a mentor, which we talked about at the beginning. There will be a message in the chat, which has the link to the form that you can fill out. There is the WhatsApp community groups that will help us stay connected, inspire us. And there will be a link in the chat as well for you to join a WhatsApp group. And then finally, if you haven't checked it out, highly encourage it. We have the link here on the bottom of this slide, which takes you to the website, the national website, and it has many links of different programs. It has the links for the recorded sessions, for handouts, and a whole lot more. So do check that out if you have a little time. Maybe you'd like to find another opportunity to meditate online or in person, and you can find those things on the national website. So finally, we have various ways that you can ask questions if you have any. You can write to the breakout room help in the chat to let them know you'd like to meet with a mentor, a Sahaja Yoga teacher, who can answer questions and meditate with you. You could write a question if you have it to the chat Q&A, also in the chat. And then finally, if you'd like to message me directly a question that we may have, see how much time we have today to answer questions during our presenter sharing. So we are going to move forward with that now. We'll have Prashant and Sujata and Anand, husband and wife. It's kind of nice to have that as a unique combination to share a little more about how we have experienced this dynamic aspect of our own selves through Sahaj, through the meditation. So this program today has been on developing dynamism and also clearing the right side so that we can accomplish remarkable things without becoming arrogant or in any way inflating our ego. So it's a beautiful thing to develop this enlightened aspect of our right channel. And we have the question, how have you experienced becoming dynamic in your life through practicing Sahaja Yoga meditation? Prashant, would you like to start?
Sure, Andy, absolutely. So as you were saying that, I was trying to reflect on, my life prior to Sahaj, and then, and while, dynamism is part of your daily life. I mean, there is like several those small occurrences which happen on like day-to-day basis where you realize this power acting, But what I would like to kind of share is one of the early occurrences, when I, for the first time, saw this happen and then realized, okay, there was something unique about this force which was expressing through me, So prior to Sahaj, I would always overanalyze things. If something was being presented my way, I was probably think about it so much to a point where I would somehow figure out a way not to do it because I was assessing all the pros and cons and figuring out okay, Is it really going to work out or not? And all those kind of things. So going back, I would say probably into the first quartile of my Sahaja journey, uh, I just graduated out of my engineering college, and was looking for the next stage in my life, and I had applied for some universities here in the US, and it so happened that I did receive a few admissions, and then I was trying to figure out as to how to figure out the finances and all those things. And then one evening, I remember I was meditating, and my mom kind of just called the time. She said, "Hey, you have got this call from this university, and this professor is on the phone call." And I said, "Okay." I went there. I talked to this guy, and he said, "Hey, listen, we can offer you the scholarship, but you'll have to teach a class on strength of materials." And I'll tell you this, I love my mechanical engineering degree, but I was not a very strong student of strength of materials. And here this guy in a distant land was talking about me teaching a class, and I had never taught anything before, at all. And now this was like a foreign nation where I had to go and teach a group of students on topic where I was not too comfortable. But guess what? It vibrations were flowing. I was just meditating, and this call had come, and I just told him, yes, I'll be doing it. And next thing I know, I was on a flight to the US, and I'm standing in front of like 30 students, and with no experience in teaching, and more so no experience in teaching the US curriculum. And I just step in, and things happened. I did bomb my first class. It was not very good, but at the end, everything worked out, and it was all good, But I
It's
could
likely
feel
those students,
vibrations were flowing, and I just trusted that, you know.
it's likely those students did not notice that you bombed it in any way.
Yeah.
So, okay, excellent, wonderful, lovely story. Thank you, Prashant. Let's see. Before we go on to question number 2, which I'd like to ask Anand, Sujata, is there any experiences that you've had through practicing Sahaja Yoga that has helped you to become more dynamic? I'm absolutely certain there must be.
So actually, this just came to my mind when I was hearing Prashant share his experience. So for me, like I have always been more on the creative side of thing. I'm not a logical minded person. But growing up, like in India, for career choices, there were very few. You either go, like at least for a lot of families, like my family, it was like that. You either take engineering or you go for medicine. So those were the only options. I wanted to do something like arts, fine arts, and my dad was not supportive of that. So then I ended up doing my engineering, and I never really liked it. I felt I was not a fit. I was a misfit there because you need more of a logical kind of thinking, and I was more on the creative side of things. And I never embraced it, and I went along with it for a couple of years. Then at some point in my meditations, I realized that you know, uh, why do I should just embrace what I'm doing. This is my profession, and I take it up, and it's okay. So let's just let's go deep and let's use creativity. So then I started using my creative skills at work, which was a complete different way of solving problems. So it was a very unique skill. I mean, I cannot explain it because it's all this technical world, and where people really think very logical, they're very fast. And so when I brought this into the table, like it started doing really well because I was able to solve things very differently than others would. Because I think most of the people are very good in math and very good, very logical brained. So the thinking was always in one kind of direction. So this is something. Then I started enjoying my profession, and everything started going very well from that point, and it continues to. So I think that is something I felt.
Beautiful. Very beautiful.
It's good.
Yeah, I think everybody who's here this evening, you can start to look consciously for this power to help us in all these different aspects of our lives. So we encourage you to examine how, in the meditation, you might find this guidance from your own connection with the divine power and also with your spirit. And I find that when I listen in the meditation, then I often feel inspired in a way that is new or different to do something that maybe I haven't done before. And even though it might be a little scary at times, I find that the confidence comes, and it's something that it returns into the attention in the meditation. So it's like the spirit isn't going to let me ignore it. So we can also listen in the meditation to those inspiring, motivating, comes from the left channel, the desire, even the spirit, it might, or maybe Kundalini or our connection, or just feeling something that's coming from a deeper part of ourselves. And then that right side gets the opportunity to make it happen. So, okay, question number 2. Oh, before question number 2, Sujata, we've had a question. They would like to know the name of the song that you sang, and is it possible to find a YouTube link to that song?
Yes, the name of the song is Nirbhay Nirgun. This song, it says, fearlessly I will sing the praise of this experience that I have. In the song, he talks about all the different chakras. It is subtly indicated. And this knowledge was already available, from the 15th, 14th century. But it wasn't, it was more secretive and not very well, like not everybody knew about it. So now that, we go back and look at these old compositions and we see these great saints who had their realization, were aware of this, and they expressed it in their poems. Nirbhay Nirgun, and it's sung by many
So is
artists
it
for.
possible, I don't know, maybe you have a telephone close by, you could just quickly write the name of the song and a link to it if possible in the chat? I know that there are
Sure.
some here who would really appreciate that.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a second question. Anand, we're going to offer this one to you to see if you could talk a little bit about some of the ways that you have changed or transformed related to the right side in practicing Sahaja Yoga, in ways in which the right side nature has changed with the practicing of Sahaj.
Sure. There are many examples, and I think as Prashant mentioned early on, Sahaja Yoga and the meditation is actually a living process. As we meditate, we'll see the change happen within us, the transformation happen within us, and we've all had similar experiences. We see the transformations happen within us. So in my case, there are many examples. To be honest, before Sahaj, I was actually a fairly left-sided person, as we say in Sahaj. I mean, basically the left side was heavy, and was more lethargic, and I can see very clearly one of the changes, a positive change that's happened within me is the balance. Meaning, I'm not lethargic as much as I was before, And also, when this balance happens, you are automatically the right channel actually also starts to come into balance, because otherwise, when your left is very weak, your right is not able to support it. You are overactive. You're basically overextending your right channel, if you will. But now with this balance, I think both the channels are much more balanced than before. And one of the results of that is that I'm able to do a lot more, which is, it goes back to the dynamism. That is the topic of today's session, without getting overwhelmed. This happens almost on a day-to-day basis at work. Very hectic work, flooded with a lot of stuff to do, but it happens almost effortless in a sense. Even though I put in the effort, but I don't realize it, and I look back and say, "Oh, that just happened. That just happened." And this happens, I think, on a daily basis, and that is all because you are much more in balance and, again, dynamic. You don't think too much; you just jump in and do it. So that,
Thank you.
again, on a day-to-day basis, I'm seeing this. So
Wonderful. I'd like to also share that I find that the meditation helps a lot to have more energy. And sometimes when over the years I was feeling quite depleted or tired, even 1 or 2 minutes of just closing my eyes, whether I'm in the car or at home or at work or at school, I would just close my eyes for a minute, bring my attention inside, feel the energy begin to rise. It gets easier and easier to experience this. And then within no time at all, the fatigue goes away and I begin to feel, okay, I can carry on. I can manage to get through the grocery shopping or running errands or preparing dinner for the children or whatever it is. So just that simple attention to bringing myself into balance and not letting myself feel so exhausted, but doing something to mitigate it by even meditating for 1 minute. And I noticed that my energy level just is perfectly restored. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. And I want to say one other thing. I know that Prashant said that we use the ice pack for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but throughout my life I've done a lot of long distance driving, and I learned that if I have a trip ahead, and we can be pretty exhausted because the attention has to be alert the whole time, and if I took an ice pack and used it while I was driving, I would arrive fresh, not tired, and the attention would be alert. It would make the drive so much easier. And I used to encourage the kids when they would be working and even driving home from work, I would say, if you've had a stressful day at work, keep that ice pack in the freezer if there is the opportunity at work, or take one of those ones that have the twist off lid and put ice cubes in it, or a baggie, and put it right there on the right nabi or the right swadhisthana while you're driving home or on the train home or the bus. And you'll find that by the time you get home, that right side has cooled right down and irritation is gone and fatigue is gone, frustration is gone. So those were two things that ways in which the ice pack really helped me a lot in the past. So, all right, let's see. Do we have other questions? So we do have a question from a member of our audience. I'm going to paraphrase it because it says, when you have more than one option and you're not sure what to do and you feel confused, how can you get through that confusion and use this, whatever method here we can offer to decide on how to move forward? So so we can maybe become more dynamic. Prashant, would you like to take a stab at that?
Absolutely. I think in terms of taking a decision as to which way to go or which path to take, I would say the best judge are the vibrations, So you really have to first settle yourself down and, experience that state on your sahasrara. Once you're feeling equal amount of, let's say, cool breeze on both palms, that means your barometer or you are in a good state of balance. And in that state, when you put your attention on, let's say you're picking from two options or three options, whichever one gives you the, I would say, the cleanest vibrations, that's the path to take, to be very simple about it.
Very good. Yeah. Exercising that vibratory awareness. Another faculty or capacity that is awakened within us that we can use to be more dynamic. Yeah.
And I would just add one more thing. Sorry, go
Sure.
ahead.
Yes, yes. No, please.
I was just going to say that, just to kind of assert that with some, all the major decisions in my life, in the last, let's say, 3 decades, it's all been based on those vibrations, so, and they never fail you. I just want to vouch for
I'll
that.
second that. Absolutely. Yeah. What do you say, Anand, Sujata, about that?
Yeah, we were actually nodding and yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you like to give an example of ways in which you've used the vibrations to, I don't know, you can have a minute to think about it if you'd like. Anand, do you have any?
We use it all the time. Actually, we
All the
use it all
time.
the time.
All the time. Too many examples.
So true. Yes. Maybe, I mean, you have children, right?
Yes.
So can you maybe share for those who have kids who are in our audience, maybe some way in which you've used the vibrations to take a decision that, is helps in the family to develop this, dynamic, positive experience as parents?
Just last week, actually, we had this confusion because my older kid, he was unwell. There was this East Coast trip that had been planned in a school where 200 kids were going to the East Coast, and it was a very hectic tour. And he just a day before that he actually 2 days before he was supposed to leave, we had to give him antibiotics. He had a like he fell sick, and I was very confused as to whether to send him on the trip or not because he really wanted to go on it. So then we checked vibrations because the doctor said it was okay to go. It was a minor infection, but still we were not sure. Uh, and when I checked the vibrations, it was very clear that he should go on the trip. Uh, and then I asked the same thing, Anand checked, and it was the same. And then I asked two of my friends, very close friends, Sahaja Yogi friends, and I asked them to check, and they said the same thing. So then I felt confident that it's going to be fine, and I sent him on the trip. And everything was fine. He came back, and he was really, this was the best experience for him. He made friends on the trip, and he had so many photos, and all like we gave him a phone just for that 1 week, so that freedom of using his phone and all that. I mean, he really enjoyed the trip, and he was fine. His health was all fine, and so
Bravo.
sometimes
Yeah, great. Great example. Thank you. Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions in the chat. I don't see any. So, okay. We have one more. And this question is what are some of the ways what are some of the ways that have worked best for you to clear the right side? And please give some examples. Actually, maybe I'll start with that.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Clearing the right side. I have to say that the right side can get, it gets tingly and heavy, hot when we're so active on a daily basis. And one of the best ways that we can clear our right side is to give vibrations. What do you say, Anand? Would you second that?
Yeah, I completely second that, and obviously, I know today's session is foot soak and ice pack both. Those are two of my go-to treatments when it comes to, or ways to cool down the right channel.
To transform and to really develop this dynamic nature of our right side, I have found that when I share this meditation, when I share the experience of self-realization with others, when I give vibrations to others, we've learned how to give bandhan to our chakras. We also have learned how to give bandhan to a desire that we might have, or for somebody else's benevolence and well-being. Then that dynamic nature begins to really blossom within us. Prashant, I see you
No, absolutely. Completely agree
agreeing.
with that. Completely agree with that. Yeah.
Can you
Uh,
give examples of any way that you relate to that?
so, one thing that I kind of, I would say it was a very interesting way I kind of figured this. Um, I would say probably about going maybe 10, 15 years back, and I've already been doing meditation for quite some time. And I used to kind of, of course, used to get all the vibrations and everything. And one thing I figured about right side was that the ability to truly surrender, you have to become effortless in the true sense. And what I really mean by that is, I used to sit down for meditation and really kind of push myself to keep my attention on Sahasrara and really, really kind of, get very tense about it. And I would get the vibrations, and of course, everything was working. But then I would say about 15, 20 years back when I was in Delhi, and there was this one meditation program going on, and there was this uh, great gentleman. I mean, he was leading the meditation, and it was very simple prayers, and it was all about letting go and not really kind of pushing really hard, and when I did that, all of a sudden the gush and the flow was so hard. I was like, oh my God. I was trying to really push myself. I was really trying to, focus my attention on Sahasrara. And here I'm making a very simple prayer and letting it go. And Mother Kundalini is acting, And so to me, that was enlightening. That it's not, I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is offering myself up.
Very nice. Thank you.
To me, that was, yeah.
Wonderful. Anand, I'd like to ask if you could share before we end the session, perhaps any experiences that you may have had. And I'd particularly like to focus on this capacity of being able to either give realization or share the experience of meditation or give vibrations to something or someone. Maybe you work on your children. And I can say for myself that when I work on other people with the vibrations, when I give bandhans for things, that I feel this flow coming through my right side and just clearing me out. So have you noticed that?
Yes, invariably, that's true. In fact, all of us, we have experienced it. In fact, even if, for example, it's happened to me several times where, because of work or other reasons, I'm not able to meditate for a day or two. But then, if it just so happens that there is there is an opportunity for me to work on somebody, give vibrations, like you said, or share this with somebody else in a public setting like this, automatically, I get cleansed. Automatically,
What
my
about
vibrations
with the
start to
kids? Do
flow
you ever work
in a
on the
good way.
children?
We do, but not as often. On and
Okay.
off, we do, but not very often, to be honest.
Yeah,
I noticed
usually
that.
when they are sick or they are having some issues, then we do that.
Okay.
So not very often.
I'll say that I noticed when my kids would come home from school, they were often, they attended public school, and they would often come home frustrated, irritable, tired, and also it was almost like a dark cloud hanging over them. And my daughter used to always ask me, Mom, will you work on me? And it was just so simple, just like we do with ourselves when we raise our own Kundalini and give a, tie up and give a bandhan and give vibrations to our own chakras. And we can feel their centers on our hands and give vibrations to them. I just would feel these vibrations just flowing through both hands. And that was one way that I felt I can do something nice for another person. It always improved my vibrations and my meditation. And I felt like it really helped me become more dynamic in my life. It's a ability that gives more meaning to our existence when we can help another person in this very fundamental way, in this sort of most basic way. And afterward, she would just have a big smile on her face and thanks, Mom. And I have very fond memories of those experiences. So, okay. Any final words from anyone here about clearing the right channel or ways that you've seen Sahaj transform you so that we become more dynamic, or any other final parting words of wisdom?
Just surrender, let it go. Yeah.
Okay, very good. I still struggle with that, Prashant.
It is not easy. It is not easy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to say one more thing. We talk about conditionings and ego a lot, the conditionings of the left side, but we also have healthy conditionings. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's not that we want to become completely, what's the word, without conditionings. We just want those that are pleasing to our spirit. Could we talk about all the basic things that we have to do, sleep and eat and shower and brush our teeth and all those things which are healthy, and we do them regularly. So similarly, we may get into a practice of meditation, and then we find that if we don't do it, like Anand said, for a couple days, then so that becomes a conditioning as well, in a way. And then same with the right side, I would say that we should not be afraid to use our right side. We want it to be healthy and strong and guided from that deeper essence within ourselves rather than our ego. But it can be very, we admire so many great realized souls. And as we realize more and more that we are realized souls, we also can use this right side in a way that can make a very positive difference in the world. So just wanted to mention that. We don't have to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think surrendering the outcome, I think that is the key, So,
Okay.
I mean, I just want to cite this one example that Shri Mataji, I think, has expressed in multiple lectures of hers. About it's about a trip that she's taking in Kashmir, where the driver kind of loses the way and goes in a particular direction, and then he says, okay, we don't know which way we are going, and she keeps on directing him, there's a reason why we have lost the way, and they ultimately end up reaching this great mosque, where Prophet Muhammad's one hair is stored. So it's essentially, surrendering to the divine will. If something is happening, and maybe you have not planned it exactly that way, but whatever the outcome is, it's happening according to the greater will.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful example. Right. Okay, there is actually, we have a few questions. Do we still have time? We've been asked, how do we really check vibrations to figure out the vibrations related to the questions? It's something that is, I believe we're going to have a session, hopefully, on using the vibrations and learning how to give vibrations, but also use this state of thoughtless awareness to check vibrations. But what I can say is that we raise our kundalini, put ourselves in bandhan, and get into this state of meditation. And like Prashant said, when we are established in that center channel and our hands are on our lap, we can either write the question that we have, in the palm with our, let's say, right index finger in the palm of our left hand, give it a bandhan, or we can simply ask our spirit or Mother Kundalini or the divine power, is it wise? Is it going to be pleasing to my spirit? Is it best for whoever the question is referring to? I'll give an example, and it's just very quick, but I actually gave this example the other day during a session that I was in the post office. I got a call from this young man who had been with us in our city and moved to the state of Washington, to Seattle, and he had 2 job opportunities. And he asked me to help him check the vibrations of which one he should accept. And he spoke a little bit about it. One was close to home. It was a beautiful building. It was a great salary. He wasn't so sure about what the job entailed, and the people were fine. The other one was further. It was not as lucrative, and also the environment was not nearly as nice as well. It wasn't a shiny new. So we checked the vibrations, and we just asked. I just sat down on the sidewalk of the parking lot in the post office, and I just put my hands on my lap and I just checked, is it wise for him to take this job? And keeping the attention here, we feel the vibrations, see what we feel in our hands, could be in our body. We do experience vibrations a little bit differently at times. It could be in the hands, it might be energy flowing, it might be the relaxation, it might be cool breeze above the head, it might be just a knowing. So we're witnessing, we're watching and asking and seeing what we feel. And we have to practice it. It's a new skill. And so we practice using the vibrations to guide us in a direction. And then we asked for the other job, and we both asked. And we both felt the same thing, just like Prashant was saying, Sujata was saying about whether to send her son on the trip or not. And we both felt that the one that was further away was not nearly as nice an environment, but he liked the people better, and the salary wasn't quite as good. And he took that job. And lo and behold, within several months, the company moved. It moved very close, the offices, to where he lived. It was in a brand new facility, very beautiful, and he really loved the job and he loved the people he worked with, and he was promoted very quickly. So, we practice using this vibrant, and like Prashant said, he's never been disappointed. Did I get that correct? I can say the same thing.
Absolutely. And I think I would just add one little thing to it, Auntie, is that when we say the vibrations are good, in long term, it is something which is going to be good for your ascent. It is going to somehow enhance your growth
That's
as
right.
a spiritual personality.
Is this for my benevolence? Is this going to be pleasing to my spirit? Is
Exactly.
this wise or auspicious? So we ask questions in that way. And, if you don't know whether, one or the other, it takes a while to begin practicing this. And you can ask somebody else to do it with you. That's something we all do. Just like Sujata said, she asked two of her closest friends to check the vibrations as well. So we do that a lot. And we also want to make sure that we're in that state, maybe after the foot soak. That's a good time. Or after a really solid deep meditation. And, people might ask, can you help check the vibration? I'm not in the state right now. I've just been working outside in the yard for the past 6 hours, and my hands are not going to give me that kind of an answer. And I need to bring myself into balance. And so okay. Oh, two more messages. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Teen mood swings and tantrums. How can I manage that and help left-sided people in the family? Well, I'm going to encourage you, let's see, to first of all, perhaps sign up to have a mentor, because these are some of the questions and issues that will take a little bit more time to address. And there are a wide variety of things that we can do to help, let's say, whether they're friends or children or relatives with these kinds of issues. So I want to encourage you to request a mentor, or to possibly address this in a breakout room. On Sunday, we will be having breakout rooms. So if you can just hold that thought, because some of these can have a little more lengthy discussion, and it is getting a little late for those of us who are on the East Coast now. So I hope that's okay. Yes, we're going to address, if you hold that thought, then we can hopefully address that issue in one of the coming sessions. So we won't forget it. Okay, so we want to just thank everybody for joining today. Anand, such a delight. Sujata, beautiful. Prashant, enlightening. So thank you all, and we thank everyone who attended, and we hope that some of these experiences and tips will help you to develop that dynamism, and look forward to hearing your stories in the future as well. So with that, we'll say good night and have a wonderful weekend. Join the foot soak tomorrow night if you can, and we'll be back together on Sunday.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prashant.